Aries, so let's jump straight into it. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and explore what sort of connection this is between you and this person that you are meeting. Aries, okay, awakening. A lot of lessons, but a lot of firsts, I think, coming in around this partnership. You've got the number 2, which is a partnership number. It's all about parts and counterparts, opposition, conflict. It's a binary number, so seeing the other side of things here. Now, awakening comes to epiphanies, realizations, understandings. Also feeling a certain way about someone that you haven't felt before. Awakening is almost like reigniting a spark even between this person. Or it's awakening feelings that you didn't even know you were capable of feeling, Aries. So quite an intense energy with that, the awakening card, the diamond here, the Venus symbol, the lotus flower used in a lot of creation myths. I do feel like this connection could be the first of its kind here for a lot of you. But awakening is really you realizing a lot about yourself, but also about this person here. So your connection is one that's going to, and when we do have awakenings, they tend to happen quite suddenly. So I don't know if the connection is going to develop fairly suddenly, or even the pacing of your relationship could develop fairly quickly. But with that awakening energy, it's almost like there's a shift. So there's a lot of changes I think this connection is going to undergo between you and this person. But strong number of partnerships, awakening strength, the heart chakra is open here, so falling very deeply in love. The both of you, that is also extremely possible here as well. Let's move on and have a look at the strengths of your connection should you enter into one. Okay, 6 of Wands. I do feel as though you'll have a lot of reign over this relationship. I feel like it might be you leading the way. The Wands is fire energy, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. I mean, they could also be a fire sign as well. But the 6 of Wands is conquest. So I feel like one of your strengths is your ability to overcome problems or overcome fights or overcome arguments together and really get on top of that. But it's also the way you support each other. But you can see that this person has followers here in support of him, his achievements. So I feel as though the two of you could be deeply supportive of each other in your career, supportive in life choices, supportive in any sort of thing you want to do for yourself or for your mate. I feel as though you'll both be very supportive of each other in that. But it's also initiative. There'll be... I feel like there'll always be someone who has control over the relationship, and for some reason I feel like it's you, Aries. Of course, I could be wrong, and every relationship is different. The way the two of you come together, which one has the more dominant personality, maybe the person that has more experience in life relationships, all these things come into play here. But the fact of the matter is, 6 is the Roman emperor that would come back and flaunt his victories, whether it was games or conquests or wars or dominions, battles, etc. So your ability to bounce back and become normal again following obstacles is going to be quite a strong one, your strength here, Aries. So that's very nice to see. But also admiration and support for each other is also one of your strengths. Ace of Pentacles, it's your ability to move in the physical. So the way the relationship evolves in the physical form, anything to do with the 5 senses, anything to do with money, moving in together, living together practically. This could also be one of your strengths, because the Ace of Pentacles, you can see that the hand of God holds it very it's almost like it's fragile. So if this is a strength coming in your relationship, Aries, I feel like it's the both of you nurturing this golden pentacle, because this means that you'll both acknowledge that you have a very valuable connection and or relationship, and that the two of you will treat it as such with a delicate energy here, as indicated by this hand of God. It's very delicately nursing this Ace of Pentacles here. I feel like your ability to find stability between each other will be very, very strong. I also feel like this can be for the long term. Okay, this is a very powerful connection coming in around you, and it's going to open up doorways. But I also see this as milestones and crossing over to a new chapter, you know, crossing that threshold here. So I feel as though Your connection will be strong enough to address major milestones in love, and whatever that is, whatever it is that you're searching for, marriage, commitment, moving in with someone, getting someone to fall in love with you, you know, whatever sort of milestone you're wanting to cross consciously, subconsciously, whatever you feel you're ready for, this can definitely occur with this person. And one of your strengths is to find stability and stay very grounded. Okay, I feel like the two of you will have very realistic expectations of each other, which might not lead to much disappointments because you've got a very realistic, a very grounded and or humble approach to your connection here. Let's have a look at the weaknesses, however, areas where you may find there's a few challenges in the works here. Okay, Seven of Swords, secrets, deceit, dishonesty, not being honest about what you're wanting. Seven of Swords, treading lightly. Okay, feeling like you can't. If this is an obstacle here, the Seven of Swords is, it's almost like one of you, maybe even both of you, feel like you have to tread lightly around the other, and you can't completely open up and say how you feel because, or what you're thinking, because Swords is mentality. Okay, the way we communicate. So it's either withholding information, maybe secrets, or maybe withholding things you feel like you want to say, or this person might feel like they want to say to you, but they won't be able to because they feel like they need to tiptoe around you. Okay, so it's either A, making each other feel judged or non-comfortable, or you don't feel as though you'll be accepted, or they might not feel they'll be accepted if they tell you how they truly feel or what they're thinking or what's going on. Could also be insecurities as well here, but it's anything to do with mentality or communication. But it can also be secrets and deceit. There could be lies and cheating here, which point to awakening. But this really overrides that, and I feel like there's ability to change. If this is a person that's cheated before, or if you've cheated before, if you've deceived or you've hurt in some way, but it's more to do with deceit because he steals, so he's doing something he knows is wrong. If you've done something like this relationship could teach you never to do that again, or it could teach this other person to never do that again. People can change, it's absolutely possible, but there needs to be enough want, there needs to be enough incentive, there needs to be enough drive coming from this person to want to do those things. Change doesn't happen overnight. It's definitely a work in progress. It can take time, but it could show that that's a possibility between the two of you, that you can learn to grow. There is burdensome energy with the Ten of Wands, which can often be one-sided. And I say one-sided because this man is pictured carrying the wands by himself. Now, you can be the ones here, Aries. You might have someone with heavy fire energy in their chart, so it's hard to, I guess, be specific with signs. Nonetheless, the Ten of Wands works tirelessly, effortlessly for someone's attention, for someone's love. So sometimes there's a bit of imbalance here, and the two of you could be, one could be doing a lot more, could be carrying more in their relationship. Maybe he's more emotionally invested than the other, but he's by himself here and he's carrying everything. So it could be that one person takes on a lot. Maybe because they have a nervous disposition, maybe because there's insecurities and they feel like they need to take on the trauma for the both of you, or they feel like they need to carry the relationship. But there's one person who's making more effort than the other. So it's either one-sided when you initially come into the relationship. Maybe the relationship undergoes periods where you're doing more of the work and then that changes and then this other person is putting in more effort. But the underlying message here is that it becomes a burden because he's got a burden. His back is hunched. He's carrying all of them. He tries to carry them all very neatly. Okay, and there is signs of him showing him struggling a little bit. So it could be that maybe it's pressure, okay, because he's got a heavy load here. So it could be pressure to move to the next stage, pressure to impress your mate. It's something becoming too heavy. Too much of one thing is not good. You need that independence in a relationship. You need to have your own avenues. You need to deal with your own insecurities before picking the faults of a partner. And this person has to learn that as well. So there might be areas where you might struggle with things becoming either too heavy or one of you putting more into the relationship, at least throughout some periods of the relationship where one is making more effort than the other. And then suddenly that may cause a bit of complications, okay? I will leave it at that though, Aries. I hope this reading has been helpful and we shall be connecting very soon. Much love, Aries. Take care.